Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna talk about 7 things you should know before moving to Spain. So if you're considering moving abroad, maybe to Europe, maybe to Spain, maybe to Portugal, this video might even be useful for you. And before we start, the usual talk, you already know it. If you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call with me, let's talk about immigration, visas, taxes, and do what every other YouTuber is asking you to do. Subscribe! Let's start! We will start this video talking about the weather in Spain. If you don't live in Spain, or especially if you have never been to the country, you can imagine Spain as this sunny place where the weather is always perfect for a stroll in the evening or for going to the beach. This is actually true, but it only applies to some specific areas of the country. Despite its relatively small size, if we compare Spain to other countries like the US or Canada, Spain actually has a pretty diverse climate. So in case you want to move to Spain, make sure you're going to a city or a region that will match your expectations. Obviously, if you like sunny days, you should definitely go to the southern coast of Spain, or even the Balearic Islands and the Canarians. But if you like warm days in summer which are not extremely hot, the northern coast of Spain on the Atlantic might be actually the best choice. And remember that some cities in the countryside which are not near the coast are notorious for their extremely high temperatures in summer. This happens in cities like Seville and Córdoba, for example, which have a low elevation and are far from the sea. The next thing you should know before moving to Spain is the tax situation in Spain. Taxes are probably the worst aspect about living in Spain, at least in my opinion. Spain, just like most Western European countries, is what one can call an ultra-high income tax country. If you live in the US, Canada, the UK and Australia, and you think your income tax bill is high, in Spain it can be even higher. On top of that, taxes in Spain are not just high, but extremely complicated. There are taxes at a national level, but also taxes depending on which autonomous community you live in. Moreover, the wealth tax is a reality in Spain. So if you have a substantial net worth, this will also be a problem. Expect to waste a lot of time with compliance and feel lost with so many regulations overlapping each other. The taxation in Spain is definitely the worst aspect of living in the country, and it is very hard to justify it. Even though public services are overall good in Spain, they are not necessarily better than in any other European countries with lower tax rates such as Malta or the UK. So taxes in Spain, they could definitely be lower and simpler, yet maintaining a good overall level of social welfare. The next topic I would like to bring about living in Spain is the fact that not all non-EU citizens in Spain get the same treatment. So to say, citizens of former Spanish colonies and some other countries like Brazil, Andorra, Portugal and the Philippines have some advantages when living in Spain. Even within this group of countries, there are some differences, but overall they are privileged. The main privilege is that citizens of these countries can apply for Spanish citizenship after living just 2 years in Spain, while citizens of other countries, including EU members, will usually need to live 10 years in Spain to be eligible to apply for citizenship. The Spanish-speaking countries of Latin America will even have more privileges, obviously as they share the same language. Things like recognition of foreign documents like university diplomas are easier than usual. Now I'm gonna talk about 2 of the most important things you should consider before moving to Spain: real estate and then cost of living. So firstly, regarding real estate, I would consider Spain as one of the countries with the highest price differences per square meter or feet when comparing prime locations and locations with low demand. While the price per square meter in central Madrid hovers around 5,000 euros, it is not extremely difficult to find properties in Spain with prices per square meter below 1,000 euros in cities like Jerez de la Frontera or Córdoba in the south, or even in the north in places like Oviedo. You can easily get a nice looking apartment in a decent area for 1,000 euros per square meter, and at times even below that. If you will rent, the price differences are less wide than when buying. But obviously, apartments in cities excluding Madrid and Barcelona can easily be 3 times cheaper than in the capital and in the largest city in the Catalonia region. You have to really consider what your purpose is when coming to Spain, whether you're coming to the country to retire or if you want to invest in real estate. One thing is certain though, Spain has some of the cheapest real estate in Western Europe. Following real estate, we obviously have to talk about the cost of living. The cost of living is another aspect you should consider when moving to Spain. Not only to Spain as a matter of fact, but to any country. This is actually one of the main positive points about living in Spain, especially when compared to, once again, most of Western Europe. Of course, there are cities and areas in Spain which are notable for their high cost of living. If you want to live in central Madrid or next to a beach in Barcelona, every aspect of your very existence will involve relentlessly high costs. But that doesn't really apply to most of the country. As a matter of fact, as long as you stay away from the capital and from Barcelona, the lower your cost of living will be. Costs related to real estate, as I mentioned before, will be the lowest in smaller towns. Going to places like farmers markets and shops that locals go to, instead of touristy places, will also guarantee you can keep your overall cost of living low. Southern regions are notably inexpensive. Andalusia is a great option if you want to live on the cheap in Spain. The next aspect is the Spanish language. The Spanish language is another aspect one should definitely consider before moving to the country. This factor is broadly a positive one, as Spanish is one of the easiest languages to learn among the European ones. It is also extremely useful and with almost unlimited free resources to assist your learning curve. You can start learning even before traveling to the country. You don't really have to invest a penny in this because, as I said, the number of free resources is definitely above the speed you can consume them. Learning Spanish can also be the grounds for getting a residence permit in Spain, which is the next topic we're going to talk about. Now let's talk about getting a residence permit in Spain. This is another positive aspect about the country, as it is easier to get a residence permit in Spain than in most other Western European countries. There are really a lot of categories to get a residence permit in Spain. Apart from the most common routes like having an EU family member, being a student or finding a job, you also have other pretty interesting options in Spain. In the country, there are residence permit categories for those willing to start a business or to be self-employed persons. There is also a category for retirees and people with sufficient funds to maintain their stay, called the non-lucrative visa. Finally, Spain also has a golden visa category for those willing to invest at least 500,000 euros in the country. Spain is also launching its digital nomad visa in 2023, following a number of different countries which have already introduced digital nomad visas in Europe, like Estonia, Croatia, Malta, and Hungary. One of the only Western European countries in which it is easier to get a residence permit is Portugal, since during the last 10 years or so, Portugal has made a number of reforms to its immigration law, and then it became the easiest country in Western Europe for non-EU citizens to move to. So Spain a good place to move, not extremely difficult to get a residence permit, but in Portugal it is even easier. Finally, the last point I'm going to address about living in Spain is its high quality of life. The quality of life in Spain is one of the highest in the world. Even in Europe, when compared to other countries with a high quality of life, Spain has many advantages. For example, it is safer than France or Belgium, warmer than the Netherlands or Sweden, and cheaper than Denmark or Switzerland. So basically, moving to Spain will give you some excellent aspects in your quality of life that you will not get in most countries in the world. Safety, good weather during most of the year, and an overall stable political and social scenario. This is certainly a trade-off, and there are some important minuses when moving to Spain. Extremely high taxes that do not reflect in an equal number of high-level public services, the long road to Spanish citizenship that applies to most foreigners living in the country, and the prospect of long-term poor economic growth in the country. Knowing all of this, it is up to you to decide whether Spain is the best choice according to your individual needs. Have you been to Spain? Would you like to move to Spain? Write down in the comment section below your thoughts about the country. And to end the video, the usual talk. You have heard it, maybe, I hope, some 100 times because we already have more than 100 videos. If you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button. Check our other videos. We have a lot of videos about Spain. Book a consultation call with me if you want to live in Spain. We also have partners in Spain, and if you didn't do that yet, hit that subscribe button and have a nice day. See you next time.